This is the DeafBlind Potter Show, and my name is Calvin Crosby, and I am the DeafBlind Potter. And if you're here to live beyond your challenges, you're at the right spot. So let's go on this journey and live beyond our challenges. Hey, so good to see you, even though I can't see you. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm so excited that you are here at the DeafBlind Potter, and we're starting our new series. And for the next 5 shows, we're talking about homesteading challenges. Because honestly, homesteading is full of challenges. And I thought, you know what? I I want to start this brand called the DeafBlind Homesteader, but I better get educated first on some challenges I might face through this journey for people that currently homestead. And then strategize, well, how could a deaf blind guy do that? So I got I forgot your last name.
Lewis.
Lewis. So I have Stacy Lewis here. And Stacy, welcome to the Deaf Blind Potter Show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Really, I am.
And well, today, what I'm excited about is learning. So kind of tell us a little bit about your homesteading journey. How did you get here?
On my own homestead. So I was actually born and raised on an off grid homestead in southern Utah. But my family moved off of there when I was about 12. We moved to the city close to my dad's jobs. And then in 2021, my husband and I decided we really wanted a lifestyle change. So we went back to the simple life and we sold everything in our 2,000 square foot house
I mean,
and
how simple really is it? It doesn't seem like a simple life.
oh, it's a lot more simple. It's got its challenges, but compared to city life, that is hectic. There's just so much all the time. And out here on the homestead, you're just being looked at by chickens. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses, you know?
I mean, I feel like the chickens are always judging you because they keep running away from you because they're scared of you.
Now, the chickens are the judgy ones. It's the goats. Those are the judgers.
Well, oh man, that sounds like a dangerous situation. So, continue your story and how you got to finding this land that you're on, and where did you go? Where were you living in the city at?
We were living on the bench of Springville, Utah. We had a beautiful view. We had a nice big house. We were running a company out of our house. We were self-employed, doing really great, and we just decided we wanted to change. We wanted to do something for us. Go back to really my roots. Is it was calling me everywhere I have ever lived. I've had like snuck in some chickens in the backyard of a rental house. I'm sneaking in gardens in the flower beds. Like it's just who I am. So it wasn't a hard transition for me. Um, and
So
we just
basically, it's in your blood. Like it was already there, and then even though you were in the city, you really had to figure out how in the world were you gonna just kind of navigate city life. But you gotta have that chicken. I mean, you couldn't help yourself, right?
I really couldn't. I really couldn't. I joked about instead of having a dog, I was like, what if we had a mini cow in the backyard and I would just bring it into the basement at night?
I mean, I think that'd be quite expensive to make sure you fed a mini cow to make sure that happened.
No, you know what's surprising is it costs more to feed a dog, a large dog, than it does to feed a goat or a miniature cow.
Really? So
Yeah.
did you have a goat in your apartment?
I no, I didn't.
I could totally see that happening. Like, Bah, bah. You're like, oh boy, what is that? That's a different type of sound. Not sure that's what you normally would hear in an apartment, but okay, here we go. so, so what? So you were in Utah. So then, where you living now, and how did you find this land?
I am now in Middle Tennessee, and we found this land by means of a friend. Came out here. They were kind of hiding out for the 2020 pandemic in a cabin they have out in the woods, and they would, we just talked to them on the phone here and there, and they tell us about the place. So we thought that sounds pretty nice. The land is affordable. We've got good water systems out there because of the rain, and it was a new climate that I wanted to experience. I'm coming from the desert, and now I'm in like this uh, totally different climate. It's been really fun to learn. Very different bugs here that
Yeah.
are very intimidating. We don't have bugs like this out west in the desert.
Well, I'm supposed to be going to Utah. Yeah, when this episode goes out, I'm gonna be on a plane, and in not Utah, but in Louisiana, and I'm like, I've been told those bugs are gigantic. I'm like, I'm glad I can't see them, but I'm hoping maybe my cane will run them over and they'll just get out of my way. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll think you're hitting like a rat or something, but it's probably a roach.
Yeah, maybe. That's if it's that those are big roaches. If they're that big, oh man, I'm not. Oh boy. So as you're so you basically so you moved out there so Tennessee, so that's quite the difference. And so you're there. Did you just did you have a building there? Was it already there? Was it kind of or do you have to build it all out?
Yeah, we started from the ground up. When we came out here, we downsized so much that we fit in a 200 square foot camper trailer, our family of
Okay.
six and our dog. And that's what we camped in our friend's yard for 2 months while we tracked down some property nearby, and we found a one of his neighbors that was open to private selling. So we were able to keep out any realtors and banks and all that, and we just did a cash deal with his neighbor, and they were happy, moved away, and then we moved into their trailer that they were living in. And it's not like a trailer house, it's an RV trailer.
Okay. So just little thin walls and
Uh-huh.
very little privacy and one toilet that you can barely sit on because the walls are too tight. And I mean
Living in
that
one.
I mean to me that just sounds like a difficult situation. I mean, the last time I was in a bathroom that was that small, I mean it didn't go very well for me. I mean, when you can't see very well, you don't realize that's a toilet until it's too late, You put your hand down, what is that? That doesn't feel like a toilet. And then you
They're
go farther
different.
down, that wasn't pleasant to feel at all, not one bit. And so yeah, so the RV trailer and bathrooms in there are not necessarily my thing. So um, we're way off today. I'm having because I know your type of humor. I'm like I'm totally digging into it. So it's not normally how I run my shows, but I'm loving it. So you end up building. So you're in this RV. And are you still in that RV today, or did you guys actually build something?
Oh, we're still in that RV. We've we've done some renovations of the trailer house. This place came with a couple of structures, but nothing was really nice. So we renovated the trailer house, and we've done some upgrades to the RV to fit us a little bit better. And then we've been clearing a 1,500-foot long driveway to the middle of our property, where we've cleared about 3 acres of land by hand, and we're mapping out, we're going to be building a shop, and it'll be off grid, and that's what we'll live in while we build our house.
Sounds great. Well, stay tuned because we're gonna get into goats, chickens, rabbits, and gardening all here. So we'll see you on the other side. Hey, it's Kelvin here, and I want to tell you about my podcast, the Perseverance Podcast, where you as an individual can hear individuals persevere through their challenges that they have faced in their life. For example, the most famous Chippendale stripper and the number one porn star in the world literally transformed his life and now is rescuing people from this industry and helping them find purpose in their life. Also, Casey Marsh, where she had a baby born without a brain and how she went through that grieving process. And lastly, one that's really fascinating is about Spencer Renfro, where he died and came back to life after driving 140 miles an hour. But when he died, he didn't come back alive the same. So you gotta go check out the Perseverance Podcast at perseverancepodcast.com and hear these stories and how people persevered through their challenges. Like I always say, go live beyond your challenges and go to perseverancepodcast.com. Hey, so good to see you even though I can't see you. My name is Kelvin Cosby, and you are here at the DeafBlind Potter Show. And I got an awesome guest. I got Stacy here, and we're talking about homesteading. And this month of April, we're going to be focusing on homesteading challenges. And what's interesting is we've been talking about Stacy about her. They're currently still living on a trailer, and I just heard her just say she just literally digged out by hand 3 acres of land to start building their home on that. That just doesn't. That seems like a lot of challenges involved in that. So I'm curious a little bit more about that. Kind of, I mean, do you just literally have a picks and axe, Stacy here? Like you just the 12 the what do you call it, the seven dwarves? Like we're working on the railroad. I don't know. I'm not gonna even try. So kind of tell us a little bit. What was that experience like building out that 3 year? Kind of digging all that out. Kind of what do you guys have to do? Do you guys have to clear uh trees, undo trees? Like, what did you guys have to do?
Yeah, it's been a long process. We live on 10 acres of forest. We've got a lot of hardwoods, a lot of oak trees, and we've been carving our way through all of these hardwood, giant 60-foot, 80-foot trees, and we're cutting them down by hand with chainsaws. We're chucking them up. When we got our road into the house site where we've designed where we want to put our home, we rented a mini X, and my husband spent a week out there pushing trees over with a mini X so we could
Okay.
get the roots out of there. And
So, basically, you did do a little bit, not by hand, just a little though.
well, we're still going. The handwork is still very much going. We've just laid out the foundation, like put out the strings on the ground of where the building will go. For we're building the shop first. We'll live in the shop while we build our house. And so we've just got the shop laid out, and we've been back there digging in the dirt like seven dwarfs.
Okay. I mean, you guys should sing the songs, you know. And, that you should totally make a TikTok of your kids and your husband and you just working on the ground. Here we go. That'd be great. That'd be a great TikTok. So anyway, so you're laying the ground out, but you're also realizing, all right, so we're homesteaders, and we're gonna start homesteading different ways. And one of the ways that you started homesteading is through goats. And to me, goats scare me because they're not nice creatures. I mean, my father said, Kelvin, if you ever became a homesteader, you don't want goats. I'm like, why? Because you're gonna end on the other side of the fence with their face in your rear end, and you didn't see it coming. I'm like, I sure would never see it coming anyways. We'll feel the after effects, but anyway. So you have goats on your homestead, and what kind of made you want to go down that path?
Yeah, thanks, Kelvin. I wasn't excited about goats. I was very intimidated by them. So we've started with a small starter herd of 6 goats. Um, 5 of those were miniature breed. They're Nigerian dwarfs, which is the smallest breed of dairy goat. I wanted the milk because I can't do cow milk, so I wanted goat milk. And my husband wanted cute goats that would like eat the brush in our forest and then do backflips. And so that was,
Okay.
they met the criteria by being small and produce milk. So we got this little starter herd, and they were very timid, really scared of us. They'd never been handled before, but over time, you have to really build trust with these animals.
Mhm.
um, the one that was full size, he's now on greener pasture. We sold him. He was not a good fit because he was starting to get aggressive and be
Oh.
after us.
And so, kind of tell us. So, when you started this process, so what were some initial challenges that you had when you first were doing bringing goats on? Like, what are some of the challenges that you faced, like that you weren't really prepared for, and you're like, oh, did I really make a good decision on this? And can you tell us a couple stories on that?
Yeah, definitely. I think finances are always a consideration and a challenge, especially in today's economy, isn't it? So we did not have a barn, but we did have a neighboring property that my sister bought, and the house that was on there was a risty, nasty, rundown, condemned place that the tenants were evicted, but they lived there for 10 months without paying rent or utilities. Like it was a dive. So the only responsible thing, I guess, was to put some animals in it and make it a barn. So we gutted out this nasty house, um, threw everything away. Like it was one of those like sheds that somebody built on and then somebody else added on to that. So it has
Okay.
like 3 add-ons, and the last add-on was so in disrepair that we didn't even want to go inside of it to rip it down. We um, ripped it off with tractors from the exterior, so we wouldn't have to be inside it. It was so
Oh.
bad.
So what is interesting about that? So basically, what's funny is you open up one of your TikTok videos, and you say, "Oh, why are the goats inside the house, and why is it pee and poop in the house?" And I was like, "You're crazy, Stacy. Like you're
Yeah.
just crazy." And then you have to stay there and listen to the rest of it. And she's like, "Oh, there was some meth in here." I'm like, "Well, then are the goats high or are they on drugs?" Like, Stacy, like this is not a good idea to have goats on meth. And then you explained a little bit more. I'm like, my brain was going 100 different ways. I was like, "Woo, here we go." And so, um, basically, and you made some really interesting things in that video, and how why you kind of brought the goats into that repurposed house. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, we needed a barn for the goats, and we my husband has a past in construction, so he could have easily built something. But again, finances were kind of we kind of maxed ourselves out by getting across the country and purchasing the
Mhm.
land and all that stuff. So we're looking for ways to repurpose things. And this house had a good roof and it was insulated, and that's
Mhm.
a really nice barn. So we ripped out a lot of the other stuff. We left the kitchen area in there to be a goat nursery. And I currently have triplets in there playing in those little cupboards right now.
Oh, that's fun. So the other part to this is that you've taken pretty much the different rooms in there, and they're different parts of the goat barn. So like the main herd is in one in like in the living room, and then the nursery's in the kitchen. So is the oven still in there? Because I'd be a little nervous of you sticking them in the oven live, and I don't know if that's a good idea.
I know, it took the oven out, it was nasty.
Oh,
But
that's
we
probably a good thing for the
them.
goats because I mean I don't know if the goats would want to know that they're getting put in the oven.
Yeah, probably not.
So anyway, so um for those that are like wanting to get into goats, what are some key things that you need to consider in challenges that you're gonna face in having goats that you would recommend making sure you think through those challenges before you get goats?
Yeah. The what purpose are you getting goats for? I'd say I have a neighbor that has goats that is strictly for brush control. Goes through they his herd will go through and eat the underbrush and browse. And my goats are kind of like a multi-purpose. I like to take everything and use it to as many times as I can before it's done. So my goats, they manage the underbrush of the forest and they produce milk for my family. And a lot of people don't love this one, but they produce meat for my family.
Well, that's important, you know. I mean, I mean, and they're there for us to that they do multiple things. You know, I like that idea, multi-purpose. You know, give the goats a purpose, and then they're all the way around providing for the home. You're taking care of them; they're taking care of you. It's a win-win all the way around. And so, as you have built this homestead, so you brought in goats on. And was that one of the first things that you brought on, or what is one of the, what
Mm,
was the first animal that you brought onto your homestead?
yeah, the very first thing we brought on was chickens because we moved into the middle of the woods where there had never been any kind of pest control ever.
Oh,
So we needed some pest control ASAP. Well, first thing we brought in was some chickens to free range and start eating those bugs up.
okay. I mean, they're quite big in Tennessee, so yeah, I could see that working out. You know, that'd be a good situation there. So you had a free reign. So were you worried about predators coming to get them out of the forest?
Yeah, definitely. We built them. We repurposed some other stuff from remodels of the trailer house on our property and some of the scraps from other things that we disassembled, and we built a chicken house so that we could lock them up safely at night and then let them out all day long just to free range and eat all the bugs. The ticks in particular were really bad in this area.
Hmm.
But then at nighttime, chickens put themselves away. Once it gets to be dusk, they know it's bedtime and they go to their house, and you just have to close the door.
Okay. So, um, if I remember right, you wanted something elaborate, like this fancy chicken coop for your chickens. Kind of tells that story. Can what's interesting is you were bragging on your husband saying that he got all these skills. He's just like he got this. So it kind of tells like how did you guys build the chicken coop that you guys currently have?
I think you're thinking of the rabbit hutch, actually.
Oh, it might. I got that confused. Sorry. So did you guys end up building your own chicken coop, or was it already kind of something you guys kind of uh bought ahead of time?
Yeah, we build all of our structures. We built a couple of different chicken coops. We built the duck houses and a dog house and pig structures, and we build all of this from scrap pieces of lumber and scrap metal from some of these other projects that we've had to tear down. Like if it has a usable roof, we
Hmm.
hold that, reserve it for another project. So we're repurposing everything. And so we have a really nice chicken coop that my husband built from repurposed materials. And then the rabbit triple rabbit hutch build was the video that you're talking about. I said he was a master builder, and the moment I saw him playing with Legos, it was
Yeah. So, well, kind of while we're here, like, did you meet him when he was 5 years old?
no.
I mean, there's a grown man that plays with Legos. I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I curious, like, how did this come to be that? Wow.
Oh, come on. Everybody needs to play with Legos. That
I
is the
agree.
main thing we get every Christmas, and my husband plays with them more than the kids do.
I mean, had you built like any of those really cool, like, clay structures, or not clay? I'm playing with clay. It's what's stuck in my head at the moment. Um, but like those, what you call it? Like, like the big Lego things, like at Legoland. You know, I don't know what they're
No.
called. They're like statues or something, like they're big figurines made out of Legos.
That would take a lot of Legos. That would take so many. No, but
So,
we basically they built some little a little RV with my boys.
okay. Well, stay tuned because there's still more to be talked about here in how homesteading and living beyond those challenges with regards to chickens and other things. So we'll see you on the other side. Have you ever wondered, without your vision, how you would cross the street? I am the deaf blind potter. I've been hit by a car 3 times in my life. It's said that 87 million people in this world will have the same experience as I have. But I started working on a solution to help solve this problem of blind individuals from getting hit by a car. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a solution that allows you to see me from 100 yards away. It's called the See Me cane, the lighted blind cane. The See Me cane is simple to use. It has an on and off button, a vibration button that tells you that the light is on or off, and has magnetic charging on the top. And it feels just like a normal blind cane. I need your help to donate to the See Me cane, so that way those that are visually impaired can get a See Me cane and live beyond their challenges. Go to seemecane.com to donate today. Like I always say, go live beyond your challenges. Hey, it's so good to see you, even though I can't see you. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. My name is Kelvin Cosby, also known as the Deaf Blind Potter, and you're here at the Deaf Blind Potter Show. And today we're not talking about pottery, we're not talking about like normal life challenges. We're going to be focusing on, for the next 5 Mondays, on homesteading challenges. Because me, I kind of have a selfish desire here to be a homesteader, even though I live in San Diego, California, and this is it's something that I'm like, oh, could I do this? Could I do this? So I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about this challenge. How would a deaf blind person be a homesteader? And so I was like, let's get educated together. Some of those challenges that people that are homesteading today, and let's get educated on some of this stuff. And I'll make some pottery, and we're gonna go on this journey and learn together how to live beyond homesteading and how we do that together. And so I got Stacy Lewis here, and Stacy, welcome to the Deaf Blind Potter Show. And we're gonna take it. Pause right there. I'm gonna edit that out. So Stacy, why don't you take us from here and talk about, you have chickens and you have goats, and let's talk about your rabbits, because this is something that I'm actually starting to look into. Like, oh, how could I raise rabbits not being able to see? And so, what are some of the challenges that you have faced in raising rabbits, and then what are some of the really key things about raising rabbits that are really helpful, um, in having rabbits on your homestead?
Yeah, well, I'll do my best to help out with this. I'm kind of new to the raising rabbits thing. I've only been doing it for about a year and a half. I don't feel like I'm an expert in anything really, but I think rabbits are a wonderful homestead addition. Every part of the animal is useful in some way, and the manure that they produce is a fantastic garden addition. And that's why I got rabbits to begin with. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be eating them. It kind of was like I grew up eating chicken. I know rabbit is more sustainable, like to be able to feed them and raise them and breed them is a more sustainable system than to do like chickens, for
Mhm.
instance. But I wasn't sure I wanted to eat them. So one
So,
of the challenges with them was how do you want to house them? You
mhm.
there's a lot of controversy on this, and I think that there's a lot of different ways to raise rabbits, and so you got to just find whatever way is going to fit your lifestyle and your space and your goals. So for us, we have a triple rabbit hutch that is my nursery that I breed my rabbits, my does, and I put them in this nursery until they deliver their litter, and they raise them up until they're weaned, and then we separate them into grow out cages. And it's so important to have your rabbits in clean housing. And this is where the metal wire cages are actually one of the better ways to raise your rabbits on. It's a lot more easy. It's easier to clean. It's got good airflow, and when it's the right kind of wire, and your rabbits have the good genetics, so they have a good thick foot pad, then it's no discomfort to the rabbits. But if you were to have a dirty, uh, solid bottom, and I had a solid bottom, it was the worst. I could not keep on top of cleaning it, and my rabbits were getting sores on their feet because it was just so dirty. These things, they drink constantly. You have to always be filling their water bottles. So they're peeing constantly, and their pee is very, very acidic, and it
Yeah.
will burn. So they'll burn their own feet with it because they always chose the solid bottom spot as their bathroom and not the wire bottom spot.
Mhm. So, I mean, in raising rabbits, because I was interviewed on a podcast about a month ago on a homesteading coach, which she will be on next Monday, and that will be um I'm blanking on her name at the moment. It'll come to me, but Mona. Oh Mona, I want to say that song, but I'm gonna spare all of you guys my singing because I don't. Eh, yeah, there's the reason why I talk. I don't sing for a living. And so, anyway, so yeah, so you have these rabbits, and so this is something I've been learning is caging the rabbits. So do you at all like free run them, or are they pretty much just caged and you just kind of process them through life through that process?
Yeah, so I have they're living in these cages that are sized for how many rabbits I have. And then I also have through the summer when I have lawn for them to graze on, then I have this rabbit tractor that I can move around my garden and on my lawn. So they'll live in their cages, but then, I'll switch out who gets to be in cages and who gets to be on the ground grazing the grass. And so they'll be mowing my lawn and fertilizing my lawn and keeping down the weeds and stuff like that. So I do have cages and a tractor. I don't free range them because I don't want them to die. Those
Yep.
are not something that would do well just out there on its own. I do have dogs, and they leave them alone, but I wouldn't trust them to leave them alone for an extended amount of time.
Hmm.
I had a little rabbit, a little uh 5-week-old baby rabbit got out of its cage somehow, and it had been out all morning, and our dog was like, "So there's a rabbit over there. You guys should go get it." So that's
I
morning.
mean, if I was the dog, I'd be like, hmm, that looks really tasty. I mean, and I could eat it all, and the owner would never know. They're just like,
It's
where did the
true.
rabbit go? And let's talk about that. Are these guardian dogs that you have on your land, or are these just regular like dogs that you play or pets?
Yeah, we brought one dog with us from the city. So she's a city girl. She lives in the house with us, but she loves to run around the yard. She is not a good guardian, though. She is a
Okay.
pet. And then we have a rescue dog that we got a few months ago, and he is our outside dog. I wouldn't say he's a guardian, but he does well at keeping predators away, and he doesn't eat the animals. So I think he's doing really good.
Okay. That's important. You don't want them eating the animals.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Pretty soon here, I'm raising up, we're calling it his little brother. We had a hypothermic piglet that I had to rescue, and this little guy cannot be go back in with the other piglets. He's so much smaller. He really had a rough go of it. So while he's real little, we're gonna keep him inside the house until he can handle the nighttime temperatures on his own. Then he's gonna be the dog's little brother, and they'll get to live out their lives together.
okay, so isn't there a movie about that? Is it called? Isn't there like a dog and pig friendship? It, I think it's called Babe. I think that's what
Uh-huh.
it's called. I don't remember. It's been
Yep.
so long since I've seen a movie like that. So, so yeah, so tell us a little bit, like, well, if you have a piglet that's under nursing and you want to keep it alive, what would you have to do to help that piglet live beyond that challenge?
Yeah, he certainly had some challenges. It appeared that he was not getting enough to eat with mom, and he was getting cold. And when they get cold, piglets cannot regulate their own body temperature, so they need to be
Well, stay tuned. When we come back, we'll get back to the little piglet. Here we
okay.
go. See you on the other side. Hey there. This is Kelvin here, and I want to tell you about DeafBlindPotter.com. Well, what are you going to get there when you arrive? You're going to see me, and you're also going to have the experience of all the pottery behind me, the pottery that's in the kiln, all of those experiences where you're going to see mugs, you're going to see heart bowls, you're going to see vases, you're going to see pots, you're going to see bowls. And you can go ahead and purchase it there, and I'm going to get it to you as soon as I can, so that way you can have the experience of feeling the tactile experience of a deaf-blind potter piece. Did you know those 3 rings on every piece of mine? The first ring represents joy. The second ring represents the perseverance that you're going to have to face in your life. And third is the character that you have to build when you find joy in your pain. And the whole piece is your hope to keep moving forward. Like I always say, go live beyond your challenges, because that's exactly what I want you to do when you have the tactile experience, when you feel a deaf-blind potter piece. So go to deafblindpotter.com and get your deaf-blind potter pieces today. And while you're there, if you want a shirt, hat, or hoodie, you can also get DeafBlind Potter merch there as well. Like I always say, go live beyond your challenges, and I'll see you just in a second. Hey! It's so good to see you, even though I can't see you tonight. Little bit. If I could get my intro working, that'd be great. So let me just try that again. My name is Kelvin Crosby, the Deaf Blind Potter, and you're probably wondering, where am I at in my pottery piece? Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I have an idea where I want this piece to go, but it's not quite getting there because the clay is a little wet today. And so I'm like, we're gonna, I'm gonna try to make this a really like wide bottom and get a really narrow base and get it to go probably about 2 feet high. But we're gonna see if I can make it that far today. But I got Stacy here, and we're talking about piglets. That, and I have to say, she's on TikTok. And Stacy, what is your TikTok handle?
Stacy.sustainably.ing.
Okay, so that will also be on the YouTube, and also on the deafblindpottershow.com website for you to be able to click on it and go there as well. And so, Stacy, tell us. So you're nurturing this little piglet that just isn't surviving. So, kind of tell us that story, and how, and what are some things that, if you have piglets that are not necessarily nurturing or growing up properly, what are some things that you would need to do to help that piglet along?
Yeah, so with any animal, it's crucial to be observing on a daily basis. Just see how everybody's behaving. If they're acting sluggish, then that's the first indicator that something's wrong. So when we saw this one little piglet of the out of the litter of six, everybody's running around. He was moving, but he was a lot slower, and his body was kind of like hunched, like arching his back, tucking his tail, which is an indicator that almost all animals that they're not doing well. And so we had to snatch him up and go see what was wrong with him. He was he was hypothermic.
Hold on. You snatched this piglet from the mom?
Yeah, I'm calling
That's
my
not very nice. I'm surprised that mama pig didn't run you over.
Oh, she would have if there wasn't a fence there. It wasn't me. I was filming from the other side of the pen. I was not about to do that. That was scary.
Well,
I'm
what's fun is you watch that video of you guys snatching the pig from the mom, the piglet. It's quite comical. I got chuckled. Okay, just to clarify, I can't see the videos, but the commentary to me it's just hilarious. So
uh,
if you want a good humor, it's good. So continue on the piglet snatching, and how you nurture this piglet back to health.
yeah. So my husband snatched it, and he's now being referred to as the oinker yoinker. So I'm gonna get him a T-shirt. I got him. So he snatched the baby out of the pen while mom was distracted because mama pigs are very protective and very dangerous. You do not want to be got by a mama pig. So he snatched baby. Baby starts screaming. Mom goes after my husband, but he's on the other side of the fence. So he just takes baby and goes inside. So we go inside. We take his temperature. He's hypothermic. You never feed a hypothermic animal. Doesn't matter what species it is. You need to get them warmed up before feeding them. So we got him warmed up, and he was acting a lot better just from being warm. And we gave him a bunch of milk. I give him goat milk because I have goats, dairy goats, and goat milk is really great, kind of an all-purpose milk supplement. It's in most animal formulas. Is goat milk. It's easy on the digestive system and it's very nutritious. So we gave him some goat milk. We watched him for a few hours. He was acting better, so we put him back with mom. Uh, 2 days later, he was looking really sad again, and he was just not growing. Everybody else had passed him up double in size. So we've taken him inside since then, and he's going to be house pig until he's big enough and can go outside, and then he'll be our dog's little brother. They already play together like siblings. It's really cute to watch.
And so, I mean, I have to say, I feel like you guys are piglet kidnappers. I mean, that's kind of how I'm kind of interpreting this. But but what's nice is that most of the listeners on this station, they're all they're from the farm life, where they live in the northeast part of Colorado, so they're used to a lot of this stuff. So, to me, the San Diego boy is like snatching a pig from his mama. I'm like, okay. Well, and then I asked myself, how would I do that deaf blind? That sounds like a
Ooh,
dangerous
that's
situation.
interesting.
Maybe I would have to be in a cage myself, and
You're one of
then
those bubbles.
yeah, no bubbles, and then I snatch the piglet, and then the pig pushes me out of the fence, and then I have the piglet, and I'm safe.
And tuck and roll.
Yeah, and I just roll along, literally and figuratively. That'd be great. Anyway, so so you have pigs. So when did you just end to have pigs?
Well, I wanted something. I'm trying to get a well balanced system here on my land where I have everything being used. And pigs are really good soil menders. They go through the forest, they eat the underbrush, and they till the soil. So I needed something. I have a lot of usable land that I can't get into because the briars are super thick, the underbrush is really thick, and the forest floor is so hard. It's hard soil, it's lots of roots. And so putting pigs in there, they're rooting around, they're tearing it up, they're turning the soil over, they're eating the bugs, they're disrupting pest cycles, they're eating the underbrush, and also they're very usable, uh, edible food. They got really great fat source. I render all of the fat, so I have lard for my cooking and really good tasty meat. And so they work hard, and they're very usable on the homestead. So I chose pigs for those purposes. Um, not my first choice of animal, really. They're scary.
I mean, what's funny see, this is why I when I first learned about you, I was like, she's a oinker, and she got oinking noises in the back. I'm like, what is this? And she, because like I think one of your videos, you're like, and the piglet is here, and I'm like, that is such a weird opening on your video, but I'm down. Let's learn more. And then you tell this whole elaborate story about how they take care of piglets, and I'm like, oh, but she's oinking on her videos. It's so good. I love it. And I'm like, it's a oink oink there. You know, I'm like, see, this is what happens when you're a deaf blind guy. But
Yeah.
I'll continue this on the other side and wrap up our show. So we'll see you on the other side. Hey there, it's Kelvin here, and I want to hear from you. Are you living beyond a challenge right now, or are you trying to live beyond a challenge? I want to be here for you. I want to walk through this journey with you. I want to encourage you to find joy in the challenge that you're facing and help you persevere by taking that step and building the character that has hope. And you know, by doing that, it's going to change your life. So I need you to email me at contact@deafblindpotter.com and tell me about your challenge. And together, we will live beyond your challenge. I will walk through you with your journey, and possibly you might come on my radio show or my podcast, and we will work through it, and even my fans will help you as well live beyond your challenges. But most of all, we need to work on you first before anything else, so that way you are successful in living beyond your challenges. So that is contact@deafblindpotter.com, and you can email me there, because I'm the only one that checks that email, and it's all confidential. Like I always say, go live beyond your challenges, and I'll see you in just a second. Hey, it's Kelvin here, the Deaf Blind Potter, and I got Stacy Lewis here, and we're talking about homesteading challenges and living beyond them. And today's been a lot about, like, how do you face a challenge and how do you live beyond it? It's amazing. This is what I'm looking for in today's show. And so, Stacy, if people wanted to get some support from you and they wanted to get some coaching from you, where would they need to go to get in contact with you?
I am very active on TikTok. I also have Instagram, and I just started a YouTube channel. And through any of those, I always check my comments, and I always check my DMs. And if anyone's looking for some help, I'm so here for you guys. I want to help the newcomers that have never homesteaded before. Like, if you have any dumb question for a super newbie, like how does a goat have babies, like, or where does the milk come from, like, I am here for you guys every step of the way. If you have a desire for this lifestyle, I want to help you guys get there.
So I'll put all that information in the notes, either at on the YouTube channels of the Rumble or on what you call it, the DeafBlindPotterShow.com. And so Stacy, so all right, so we've covered your chickens, we've covered your rabbits, we've covered your piglets, we've covered your goats. And is there any other? I mean, we covered your dogs. Do you have cats?
I have cats and I have ducks.
And ducks. See, I haven't learned about these ducks. When did you get ducks?
I got ducks before I got the pigs. They were last
Okay.
summer. I got the Muscovy ducks. They're quackless, and they're really laid back. They're amazing. You need to go find my 5 reasons why Muscovy ducks.
I've heard about this Missouri ducks,
Mhm.
and um and do they fly, or do you have to clip them, or how does that work? How do you take care of those and
They
keep
do.
them on your homestead?
Yeah, they're a large bird. They're the smallest of the geese, but they are flight birds.
Okay.
But they don't migrate, so they're territorial. They'll take over an area, but they get really big. and then they can't fly anymore because they get too heavy. So if you can get them
Oh,
to adolescence years of just
yeah.
trimming their wings because they get up on the roof at 4 a.m. have a dance party that's annoying.
Tap dance.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
You just gotta get a good beat going up, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, it's really,
So, and then do they lay eggs?
they do. They
And
lay eggs seasonally, and they lay a clutch at a time, and then they hatch them all out. I don't have to incubate any eggs, and I've got just constant ducklings coming out all summer long. I've got one hen that is broody, and so I've got like ducklings all summer long, and I don't have
yeah,
to do anything for them.
awesome. Well, Stacy, it's been awesome having you on the DeafBlind Potter Show, and I'm so excited that I got you to come on and just tell your story. And I didn't finish this piece. This piece has some more to go, but I felt like I was just so engaged in today's topic. I'm like, and I didn't, and I wanted to. I had so many questions that I wanted to make sure I got at, and the way to think from this, like, so from your perspective, from a blind perspective, or aka deaf blind perspective, so I'm thinking ducks, rabbits, and probably um something like that. Those are your recommendations?
For sure. I would recommend chickens. They're going to
Okay.
be better egg layers through the winter,
Yeah.
and they can help you turn your compost.
All right. Well, that wraps up the Deaf Blind Potter Show, and I will see you next week. Go live beyond your challenges. That wraps up the Deaf Blind Potter Show. Thanks for joining me, and share this video and encourage somebody to live beyond their challenges so that way we all can persevere through the struggles of life and overcome the challenges and have hope to live beyond our challenges. I'll see you next time.